Wealth is like seawater. The more we drink, the thirstier we become. That's Arthur Schopenhauer. Hopefully, I pronounced his name right. And man, that quote hit me like a ton of bricks. Over the last 5 years, I've been really trying to really be the best person that I can possibly be. You've heard me speak about it before, where I've been trying to upgrade my health, upgrade my personal world, upgrade my social, people I get to hang out with, upgrade my wealth, and really just kind of upgrade my life. And as a financial planner, when I read this quote, I mean, it really reframed how I've been thinking about money, how I've been thinking about wealth, and how I've been really working with clients and what their goals are. So today, I'm going to share with you who Schopenhauer is and some of his dark ideas that are actually empowering for building wealth. And specifically, the 6 steps I think that you could use build your financial world and hopefully upgrade your life. So stick around. There's going to be a simple shift that's going to hopefully save you some stress years down the road here. Welcome to Built for Life, Not Just Wealth. And man, I'm excited about today's episode. This philosopher that I ran into actually via Twitter. I follow several other philosophers out there, and Naval is someone that I've been kind of following. And he mentioned that he reads Schopenhauer's work quite often, and he got me intrigued with several quotes that came from Schopenhauer. And so, as I mentioned before, over the last 5 years, I've really been obsessed with becoming my best self. Like this morning, I did my first true full body workout with weights in years. And I'm not going to lie, I'm hurting right now. However, this mindset, all of the stuff that I've been trying to work on myself has really started pulling me more into philosophy for whatever reason. Dad, if you're listening to this episode, you're probably laughing. Um, but that's when I came across Schopenhauer by looking more into the philosophy. And he was totally unknown to me before. But after looking at his work, it has become more interesting to me. And if you've ever hit a financial goal and still felt empty and wonder why more never feels like enough, this is the episode for you. So let's dive in. So who was Schopenhauer? He's a German philosopher from the late 1700s. He was born in 1788 and died in 1860. His key book or key work, key masterpiece, if you will, is called The World as Will and Representation. And his core idea is the blind will or endless desire that we all have. And he frames it really kind of pessimistically. Essentially, it's like, look, we're going to constantly try to be better. We're going to hit a goal, and then like 5 seconds later, we're going to wonder what's next. We're going to hit a financial wealth goal. And next thing you know, we're going to think about what's next. And it sounded depressing. But really, when I started thinking about this, it was more of as a human being, once we understand this insatiable will that we have, and we understand it, I think we can actually use it to our advantage. And so you're going to get more like drinking the seawater, right? You're going to want more seawater possibly if it's insatiable. But once I accepted this, it freed up, at least in my mind, how to look at things differently. So first and foremost, wealth is a tool. And I know we've all heard this. I know I've said it. I know Alex has said it on the podcast. But are we really using it as a tool? So here are 6 steps that I've turned Schopenhauer's pessimism into practical empowerment, I think. And that empowerment word, I think, has been overused, but I really do think it puts you in a different mindset around what it is you want and really empowering you to go get it. So let's just think about the pessimistic side of stuff, right? You are on a health kick and maybe you get to your ideal weight. Like for me, I was trying to lose some weight and just trying to get in health. And once I got there, I wanted the next level. Like I wanted, now I'm into building some muscle mass. The same is true with building wealth, like I've said before. The same is true with maybe, dating and relationships. What's next? What's next? We're constantly thinking about what's next. And so, step one with all of this is we have to detach ourselves from that endless chase. And I think what we can do is, and this is what's helped me, is we can set kind of finite goals, meaning like my main goal is to constantly get better and get better at really improving my life in the way that I want my life to be. Right? You could do the same. What helps me oftentimes is as I'm doing my workout, I'm listening to different podcasts or I'm having different thoughts. Probably like many of you in the shower, right? Like different things that pop up, and I'm starting to capture those thoughts and come back to those thoughts around like what is it I want life, like the different ideas that come into my mind, and that's actually making me actually feel better about stuff. I'm no longer thinking more negative, like, oh, what's that next goal I need to hit. It's more of like, what's new today. And I think that's been a huge piece for me. Step two, and this has been big for my wife and I, is use nature or art or whatever, some sort of hobby to break from and recharge yourself. My wife and I love going on walks. We do our rucking in the mornings, and then after dinner, we actually take what we call fart walks. Um, it's kind of the running joke in the household. After dinner, we go on a walk, and it's just like a mile and a half walk. And it's a leisurely walk and it's just outdoors. And it's just amazed at how often a quick walk reframes your mind, get your mind. It just reshapes everything that's going on. If you had a stressful day, it de-stresses me. Maybe it's not walking for you, maybe it's something else, but find that thing that de-stresses you. Step three, and this is a harder one for me, and it's building compassion in the money decisions. And that's probably weird coming from me. I don't come across to most people as the most compassionate person, even though I do care quite a bit. I was raised in the military. My father being in the military, and not that he was Mr. Drill Sergeant, but we were the family that arrived to the movie theater 40 minutes early before the movie even started. To this day, if we went to the movie theater, we wouldn't arrive right on time. It would actually stress me out. So I think that compassion piece gets lost in I'm very disciplined in what we do. However, what has really kind of started to change for me is how I'm taking the financial planning piece, and it's not all about like drill sergeant, you must do X, Y, and Z. It's really like, what is it you want life to be? What are these goals and the compassion towards other people's goals and what they want? That's been a big change in my mind over the last 5 years. Whereas before it was just kind of dollars helping you retire. And what I found is retirement is nothing if you don't know what that life looks like or what you want in that life. So that's step three. Step four, right? This is, small aesthetic details, meaning cutting the non essentials, automating the stuff that you can automate or want to automate. For me, one thing that my wife and I sat down with and we looked at where we were spending money. This was over 10 years ago now, but we were spending a ton of money going out to eat. And while we love going out to eat, we do, or maybe I shouldn't say we, maybe I should say I love going out to eat. What's interesting about this though is I like going out to eat for the experience. Like when we go to Vegas, we go to Gordon Ramsay Steakhouse. That experience is always, always good. We love going to that, right? When the nicer restaurants, that experience is what we enjoy. Me going to Chick-fil-A or me going to the local Mexican restaurant, like at times it's fine to go out with the family, but the experience is not the same. And that's not what I really wanted. So we started cutting non-essentials as in what we didn't value. I didn't value going to those restaurants. So we started cutting that. And there's other aspects that we started cutting because it really wasn't bringing any value to our life. And so I suggest that you all do the same. What is it you value and cut what you don't and ruthlessly cut it. And it's hard to do at first and then it's easy. Okay. Step five, I recorded an episode a while back, and it's, taking a step back, looking at the bigger picture. Keep the big picture in your mind. What is it you want? What are the values that you have? And always have them, like, have some sort of weekly, monthly, quarterly review with yourself or your wife. And I would suggest both. Maybe it's for yourself and for you and your wife or spouse to sit down and remember what that big picture is and see where you're at and see what you're doing. Because it's easy to have this conversation with yourself. It's easy to have this conversation with your spouse. And literally an hour later, the kids are coming in, you're running around with their head cut off, and you forget the conversation you just had, and everything goes out the window. Having the weekly, I strongly encourage the weekly. Have the weekly ritual of, like, for me, it's Sundays, where I sit down, I just remind myself of the bigger picture and what it is we want. And it really kind of brings a calm over me because I've realized, like, I've got a pretty good life. Do I want some other things? Absolutely. But I've got a pretty good life. And that this weekly setup allows me to remember that, where it's easy to forget that. And then number 6, and this is the hardest thing to do maybe right now, and that's guard your mind. There are so many things to constantly look at. These phones are maybe the devil, in my opinion, because how often, when you have like a brief second, do we pick up the dang phone? And don't get me wrong, the phone has also been an incredible invention, and the technology in it has made billions and trillions of dollars for people, including myself. However, what's it also taken away? We're being bombarded with stuff on the news, and when I'm on Twitter, it can be negative at times, and that's what they want. They want it to be negative because that gets your eyeballs. So guard your mind. Make sure that you are having time for yourself and for your family, and you're not getting lost in that stupid technology, in this phone, or even on TV. Make life what you want. And I sound like I'm on a pedestal here making a sermon. I'm not perfect. I'm not pretending I am in any of these steps. What I am sharing is what I've been learning and what I've been really focusing on for myself and my family. And I think I've grown from that. And if you can get anything out of this, awesome, which is the whole reason I'm obviously recording this episode, right? Again, in my own life, these 6 steps have been huge for me. It's really grounded me. It helps me remember how lucky I am and how great I have it. And I'm hoping you can do some steps with this and bring this to you and your family, right? Schopenhauer didn't promise joy. He showed us how to minimize unnecessary suffering. And that sounds harsh, but unnecessary, just like stress. And when we apply that to money, building wealth is building it deliberately for your real goals, not some endless fix. And I think that's how I'm going to end today's episode. I hope this episode is valuable for you. Make sure you head over to builtforlifenotjustwealth.com. And there's a contact us. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you. Email us and say, hey, this is what I got out of your episode. If you have any questions with any of this or anything financially related, that's also a great way to reach out to us. We hope this episode is valuable for you. And as always, cheers.
This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not to be construed as tax, legal, or investment advice. Although the information has been gathered from sources believed to be reliable, please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information should be relied upon only when coordinated with individual professional advice. Guest speakers and their firms are not affiliated with or endorsed by Park Avenue Securities, Guardian, or Quantified Financial Partners, and opinions stated are their own. Guardian, its subsidiaries, agents, and employees do not provide tax, legal, or accounting advice. Consult your tax, legal, or accounting professional regarding your individual situation. All investments and investment strategies contain risk and may lose value. This material is intended for general public use. By providing this content, Park Avenue Securities LLC is not undertaking to provide investment advice or a recommendation for any specific individual or situation, or to otherwise act in a fiduciary capacity. Please contact a financial representative for guidance and information that is specific to your individual situation. Ryan and Alex are registered representatives and financial advisors of Park Avenue Securities LLC, OSJ 200 Market Street, Suite 1850, Portland, Oregon 97201. Phone number 503-221-1226. Securities products and advisory services offered through Park Avenue Securities, member FINRA, SIPC. Financial representatives of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, Guardian, New York, New York. Park Avenue Securities is a wholly owned subsidiary of Guardian. Quantified Financial Partners is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Park Avenue Securities or Guardian. Ryan Burklo, CA Insurance License Number 0K24924. Alexander Collins, CA Insurance License Number 0H24806.
8797567.1, expiration February 2028.